The Achievement Status and Growth Summary Report is another report that I think is super helpful. If there is one report that you can look at, it's probably the one that I would choose. It kind of seems like the one-stop shop. So I'm going to go to Logins again to access my report, Map Login, Map Reports, and this is the very first one. Under Achievement Status and Growth, there's a projection or summary. That's what I'm going to select. Then there's also a summary with quadrant chart. I would recommend checking that out. It's an interactive quadrant that you can play with and see a visual image of where each student is, and it's pretty neat. But for right now, I'm going to go to projection or summary. With this one, I will see how the students tested in the fall and the winter. We just took the winter test, so I'm going to make sure that's selected. Once again, I'm going to find myself. I'm acting like I am Casey Tedrow. So I'm going to find her, and I'm just going to select one class. I want to see the growth from the fall of 2016 to the winter of 2017. That's what I want. And I'm going to create a PDF report. That's much easier to understand than the spreadsheet for me. So, PDF report. And again, it will take a couple seconds to create, but once it generates, it will, it'll pop up, and this is my queue. So I'm going to come over here and view that one. The most recent one that I requested is at the top. And here is my achievement status and growth summary report. Again, I said it's kind of a one-stop shop. There's a lot going on here, but it is super helpful information. What I'm going to see here, these are, my students are organized alphabetically for this one. I'm going to see my first student in the fall scored a 236 RIT, and that placed her in the 62nd percentile. If I go over here, it will show me that based on that, she was projected to grow 1 point. From 236, if she would have scored a 237 in the winter, that would have kept her in the 62nd percentile. You'll notice, though, that she jumped up 12 points. So her observed growth was 12 points. That put her at a 248 RIT, which jumped her up to the 80th percentile. I think it's interesting to know that the projected growth is always going to be very small in high school, but that projected growth will keep the student in the same percentile. So if the student is wanting to increase their percentile, they're going to need to increase their growth quite a bit more. So she ended in the 80th percentile by getting a 248 in the winter. Okay, so she has met her projected growth already. She's doing great. This comparative area shows her data compared to like students. So students who scored similarly to her in the fall are the ones that are compared with her here. So out of like students, she's in the 96th percentile by the winter. And she grew quite a bit. If she were to just meet her growth of 1 point, then this number would be at 0. So that's just an interesting thing to keep in mind. So among like students, she's in the 96th percentile. She grew quite a bit more than other students who started off in the 62nd percentile. If you scroll all the way down, you'll get a little bit more data. These numbers down here are pretty helpful. The median conditional growth percentile, that again is for the like-minded students, or the students who scored similarly. To be college and career ready as a class, this number really should be 67. So if 67% of our students are growing as they should, we're on the right track. But this shows you that lots of students met their growth goal with this in this class, which is great. So 63% of the students met their growth goal. So this is a one-stop shop. It's probably my favorite report that we have access to. There's a lot of information, and you can really glean a lot from it.